All right, everybody, so I'm back. So I just made my intro video, well, I guess re-intro video, because we've all done this before. Um, but I was talking about a book bowl that I wanted to do, and I said I would make another video to explain it a bit more and go into the gist of it, my intro to book bowl, if you will. I usually make a script before I speak because I tend to stutter and trip over my words even with a script, but even more so without one. But we're just going to try this without much. I basically just wrote a couple of things down, and this is going to be interesting. So, sorry. Basically, I want to do a book bowl. So I put together a little over, maybe more now, because I can't stop getting recommended things on my Instagram feed now that I'm looking through too many things. But I basically asked a bunch of people for recommendations, and then I started getting a lot of book talk in my algorithms, and I'm okay with it, but it gave me too many ideas. So what I'm going to do is I took about at least 400 titles or series, and I'm going to write them down on a piece of paper, cut up the piece of paper, put it into this bowl. Isn't it beautiful? Massive. You know why? I got to fit 400 pieces of paper, and I really hope that it fits, or else, well, I can't return that now. It's past the time. Well, anyway, whatever. We'll figure it out when the time comes. But I made a little bit of rules for myself, and I am going to record myself making the book bowl, just because if I have to suffer, you have to suffer. And I'm suffering in a good way because I really want to do this. But I think you guys might like it, and I'll do a little overview with it. Why not? You know, it'll be a speed through. It's fine. Anyway, you see what I mean about the script? I'm going a little everywhere, which I also did in my intro, and I had a script, so not important. Anyway, so essentially, I plan to pull out a title, read the book, review the book. You know, I read it, you don't have to. Or you do, if you really like it. That kind of thing. If I get a lot of subscribers who like this sort of thing, I might incorporate other stuff into it as well. I do plan on doing other book content on my Instagram and maybe TikTok. I don't really post on TikTok, so I have to see how that works. I don't really post on Instagram, so I have to see how that works. I basically only post pictures, but learning curves. It's fine. Anyway. So, as I did mention in my intro, this is not an original idea. I saw somebody do something kind of similar. I just wanted to take it a step further. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out the book, I'm going to review it, I'm going to tell you guys an in-depth review. My other social media might just have like snippets of a review. Obviously, I can't do an in-depth review on a Instagram reel. And then after I read a certain amount of books, I will go on, I believe I'm going to use Canva. I don't know how to use it that well, but I saw some templates. I think I'm going to use Canva. I'm going to print out mini book titles. I'm going to make mini books, and then I'm going to put them on my mini bookshelf. I used to have a big bookshelf, but it broke. So when I get my forever home, because we don't have space here, I'm going to buy a bunch of beautiful bookshelves. And I'm going to display all of my big books and my little books. I don't own every book that I'm going to put in here. I will probably read most of it on my Kindle. If I really like the book, it will be a book I buy in physical copy. If I don't really like the book, it was a Kindle book, it was probably a couple dollars. It's not a big deal. But I am this is going to sound horrible, but you know how like serial unalivers keep trophies? These are my trophies, okay? These are my trophies. My books are my passion and my trophies. Anyway. After I make the miniature books, I have a sweater and a couple t-shirts that I'm going to embroider something that relates to the book. Now, I am not going to lie. I'm going to give you guys a lot of warning. There is a lot of smut on my list. That's most of what Instagram and book talk refer me to. I have read some of the books before. I'm not opposed to it. They're pretty good books. Believe it or not, the stories are good for most of them too. There's a lot of dark romance. That might not be for people, you know, things with trigger warnings. I may not be able to handle most of it. So it's going to be something I will warn you about beforehand. I will tell you the book I'm reading so you guys can decide if you want to watch the review when I make it. So yes, I will show you guys the process of me making the mini books. I will show you guys the review, and I will show you guys the process of me making the embroidered design. Something that'll be fun, I hope. It'll be fun for me. It may not be fun for all of you, but at least it might be fun for some of you. I mean, maybe. But again, these things weren't original ideas. I'm just taking something I saw and I'm making it something of my own. And you know, as subscribers come in, or even as viewers, you don't have to be a subscriber. Maybe you guys just view casually. If you guys want to recommend a book you love, you hate, you never read, you're curious about, whatever it is, comment it in the comments. I will look through my comments and I will throw it into the book bowl if it's not already there. I did make a list of rules, and yeah, I'm going to read out my rules to you. So stay tuned. I have them written down, so I'm just going to let's talk about the rules that I have placed for myself. If I pull out a title, as I said, there's going to be a lot of the same genre because that's kind of the trend. And you know what? I like the books for the most part, so it'll be interesting. I have not read all of the summaries of the books. There's just too many books, so most of them I don't really know what I'm getting into, so I might be biting off more than I can chew. But we're going to do it. Anyway, I have the ability to skip. So if I pull out, I'm not going to have the ability to skip. Forget that. We're not going to do that because I was going to say if I have like too much of the same genre back to back, I might get sick of it. But you know what? Based on like the amount of books I have, because I already had mentioned that I have a lot more romance and dark romance, there's definitely going to be a more saturation of that when I pick out. And there's a lot of horror and like thrillers. So, you know, there's definitely going to be a lot of back to back. So maybe I won't do the skipping. Forget that. And again, you guys recommend me books and don't be like my one friend who recommended me The Very Hungry Caterpillar. I'm not going to read it. What am I supposed to review about that? I will try to finish every book I read. There is a good chance that I'm going to want to beat myself with the book. But one of the reviews I did back before my daughter was born was, I think it was called The Ice Twins. I absolutely despised that book and I still finished it. So there is a chance I'll force myself to finish it. I will try my very hardest, but there are just some books that like, no. If I do not finish them, I will explain why. Obviously, it'll still be like a review. I'm just going to tell you why I almost burned the book alive. I would never desecrate a book like that, let's be honest. But anyway, I will explain why I did not finish it. Like I said, I will continue to add books to the list. Books if I find on Instagram or TikTok or Reddit, because I did make a post on Reddit, so I have somebody that I've been messaging to about it. So I will definitely do that. I will keep adding. If you guys make any comments or message me on any of my social media, I will add it to the book bowl, you know, that kind of stuff. Honestly, sure, 400 titles seems like a lot, but let's just add to the fun and the chaos, you know, add some more. Also, say I did add like something like Twilight, even though I've read Twilight 9 times. I'm not ashamed. Don't come for me. That was like my favorite series growing up. So I added it to read it again as an adult to see what do I think differently of it now. So since it's a series, like I won't put Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, Midnight Sun. I won't put all of that. I will just put the Twilight series. If I pull it out, I have to read all those books. What I will do is say I pull out the Twilight series or even Harry Potter, or I do Pretty Little Liars, or I don't know, Haunting Adeline, whatever I pull out, I will pull out another title, I believe, too, so I can like split it up. Maybe I'll do the first book of the series, do another book, do the second book, so it's a little bit broken up type of thing. Or I could just break them up into different videos and not pull another title. Again, if you guys want to let me know, I can go accordingly. If not, I will figure it out as I go as well. There's also like manga in my list. So like One Piece, it's still going, by the way. So obviously that would be something that I would make videos in arcs or in box sets. I'm unsure how I'm going to do that yet. But again, there's a lot of books to go through, a lot of arcs to go through. And since it's continuous, I might just continue as the arcs go, like as another box set comes out. I'm not sure about that. I will figure that one out. If you want to comment any ideas about that as well, you know, I'm always up for ideas, people. I am warning everyone, with all the research I did, I posted on a mom group I'm on. I posted on Instagram. I posted on Reddit. And I posted on, I feel like I posted somewhere else. I posted on social media giving me book recommendations. I have received, and again, I didn't read all of the summaries of these books. I kind of just threw them into the list because if I'm going to read the summary and have like a bias, I may not want to read it, and I don't think I want to do that. Also, again, with so many books, I think having the summaries, I'll forget them anyway, so it's better to just kind of go in blind. So there are going to be it's a lot of smut, a lot of dark romance, and that's even what's recommended in my algorithm. So it's going to be a lot. Also, again, the horror, I've already mentioned it. I really like horror, I really like thrillers, but there's also like some Nicholas Sparks, guys. And again, some YA and manga. You'll love it. At least one book you guys will love, I'm sure. But book talk is no joke. I went through one book and it's like a rabbit hole. It doesn't end. It just keeps going. I'm here for it, okay? I am here for it. I've read a few of them, a few types of different genres that I have, okay? And they're really good. Again, stories can be really great, but sometimes it's just the way, like, that like, one series that I read, it was dark romance, but it was really funny. Like, I laughed. Do you know what it's like to be laughing while he's looking at you, expecting you to read smut? It's a lot, okay? So I do read mostly those books for the storyline and just to see how an author like writes. It's not just about the other parts, but you know, those aren't bad either. I will categorize the videos. So if it's horror, I'll put it as horror. So that way, like, if there's something you're not into watching, you don't have to click on the video and be traumatized by what I have to say, or to be disturbed by what I have to say, or to be uncomfortable, or just to be bored. You know, everybody has their thing that they like. Not everybody will want me to talk about Twilight. Not everybody will want me to talk about smut. Not everybody will want me to talk about Harry Potter, blah, 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 blah. Everybody has a preference. I'd also like to kind of give you a pre-warning. I know if I tell you guys not to do something, as social media as a whole, people will do it. So I'm not going to, I want this to be a judgment-free zone, but I know people are judgy. For me, I am not going to judge any recommendations you give. I don't care if it's the worst of the worst, if it's the most inappropriate, if it's the scariest, most disturbing. I do not care. Hit me with it. I will read it. If I don't like it, I will make a video on it and I will tell you why. I'm not going to trash you. I'm not going to judge anybody. That's not who I am. I've seen some pretty sick and twisted titles be recommended, and you know what? I'm intrigued to see how it goes. I won't give details when I'm talking about certain things in the video, but, you know, that's for everybody else to figure out, you know? So this is a judgment-free zone, at least on my part. I would hope that the people in the comments are kind enough to not judge people. I can't ask you guys to do that because, again, I know it just makes people do it more. But at least I can tell you, for me, I will not judge whatever is recommended to me. I've read a bunch of books, read a lot of things with trigger warnings. I've read a lot of deeply disturbing psychological thrillers that, I mean, there was one that kind of left me a little scared to be in the dark for a little while. Don't judge me. It just happens. I will do it. I will read it. There's no judgment. Write it down in the comments. If you're not comfortable with people seeing it, I will put down my Instagram page here. Message me privately. I will do it. I'll do it. If I don't like it, I'll let you know. I will admit I was hesitant to do this book bowl at first. I felt like people that knew me that watched this might judge me. I felt that people who didn't know me that would watch this would judge me. I felt like people in general wouldn't like what I had to do or say or what I like to read, and I just didn't want it to be ruined for me. But then I realized that there are so many people who do this kind of content. There are so many people who like what I like to read, and even if it's not people that I get along with, even if it's not people that I know, like, I know I'm not alone in liking what I read and enjoying what I do. So I was nervous about it. I was nervous to talk about my enjoyment of horror books. I was nervous to talk about my enjoyment of romance and dark romance. But you know what? If I keep living in fear, I don't think I'll ever truly be myself. Just because I like reading something doesn't mean that I'm necessarily into that stuff or like that stuff in real life. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna really go ghost hunting in my life, and I'm not gonna really want a masked stalker to follow me in my life, but I am gonna read about them because they are interesting and I like the idea of it. I'm not gonna lie. I like the idea of reading about it. I don't like the idea of it happening to me. Let me clarify. So I think that it took me a lot of convincing, but the people in my life that I have closest to me, I don't think would judge me, and I hope that they won't. And if it's not something that they like, it's not like I'm just going to talk to them about it in person. You know, this is not something that I'm going to like hound into somebody. I'm forcing myself to come out of my shell and just talk about books. Even if I don't like the books, even if I do like the books, even if somebody else doesn't like the books. This is what I want to do. I feel like just because I like reading something, it doesn't define me as a person or like my personality. It's just something I like to read. It's just the content. It may not be what I believe in, but it might stir an emotion in me that makes me like reading it. If one person could understand me, that's it. I'm not very good. You know, I love to write and talk about things, but sometimes when I'm trying to explain myself, it just comes out as word vomit. And now here I am still going grambling. So I'm going to move on to the next part. I've already mentioned after I finish a book, I am going to make a tiny book. I was originally going to do it one book, one mini book, but to print out a page of the mini books, it's like, I don't know, 30 books, maybe. I have to count. I didn't think, but it's a bunch of books. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the bunch. Then I could show you guys, I will make them. I'll make the little books and I'll put them on my tiny little bookcase. I will also embroider the logos or images related to that book, as I've said before. I'm weird. Maybe I'll only stitch the ones I like. It'll be interesting. There's also like reading apps. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but like Galatea. That's an app I really like to read books off of. The only thing that's, I wouldn't say frustrating, there's a lot of book apps that you can't read unless you spend money, and it's a lot of money. I would rather just buy the book, but you can't buy the book. Galatea is one of those ones that you can actually like read the chapters for free for most of them. Some of them are subscription only, but most of them it's like every 6 hours you get to read a chapter, and then every day you get points if you have a reading streak, and then those points you can use to open another chapter. So I think that that's great that they offer mostly free books. So I was thinking maybe eventually I would add books from that app into the book bowl, and I could talk to you guys about it, and maybe if you like them enough, you guys would read them. I am thinking of getting a subscription if this gets popular enough, just because it'll make it a lot easier for me to give you a book review without having to take 4 months to read the book. If that works well, I will consider going on other apps. It would just require me to have to get something. I think it's memberships for all of them or just paying for them. I don't download any of them because when I did, it was like, here's reading 4 chapters. Now spend $70 for 40 coins or whatever. I'm being a little bit over dramatic, but it was a lot. And why would I spend that much money for a book when I can go buy it? $20, I can get a book. As far as the apps go, let me know what you think about me doing Galatea. Let me know if there's any other apps you think are really good and worth me downloading and reading titles from. I'm very open. I'm very excited to do this. And when it comes to reading and crafting, I'm a happy girl. So this is going to be fun. So I'll show you guys like me kind of setting it all up. And then I will, in this video, I will show you guys me setting it all up. And then at the end of this video, I will pull out my first title and then I will begin.
So basically what I'm doing here is I am cutting up pieces of paper into small squares, and I definitely went too small. I just didn't think I would have the space in the bowl, and I ended up having the space, so the squares are definitely really tiny. But I ended up writing on the pieces of paper all this series, the titles, everything I had. I definitely didn't show all of it. There was a lot of things I did off camera just because it took a lot longer than I expected to write down all the papers. But that is what I was doing here. You can see me cutting the papers, writing on them, cutting them again into smaller squares because I had them in like long strips, and then I wrote and then I cut and then I folded them up, and it was a lot of work. I felt like I was going insane just doing it over and over and over again, but I definitely felt like it was worth it. I am excited for this. I have added more since recording this. I've added more titles just because, you know, I'm not allowed to have a break. They just keep coming in, which is fine. It's exciting. But yeah, that's what I'm doing here. It got me excited because I just saw all the titles I was writing and I was like, oh, I can't wait. Like, oh, I hope this is good. Oh, I wonder what people will think about it. And oh, I wonder what I'll think about it and how long it'll take me to read, and all this chaos in my mind. You will notice there's some random yellow papers. I didn't think I would have any purple left over, so I had cut some yellow and I was just kind of doing it all together. I definitely have leftover purple, so just a small pile of yellow in there. I'm sure as time goes on I'll probably use more yellow and more of my other colors, but that's just why. Originally I was going to color code, but then I was like, I'm not reading all these summaries to find out what these books are about to color code them. I just kind of want it to be random, and that's that. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you think there's any books that you want me to add? Do you think that there's anything you want me to do different about my like game plan of this all? I am excited to see. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm more excited for like the first book. Like, what's the first book gonna be like? What am I gonna pull? Am I gonna enjoy it? I hope I enjoy it. I feel like that would be so sad if my first introduction to the book bowl is not enjoyable. But yeah, so this is basically kind of what I'm doing. I was being a little nerdy and I made the pieces of paper into a odd-shaped heart on the table, but you know, I had to have fun somehow. I was basically up here watching YouTube videos while making this, and it was just all the time. It took me like 4 or 5 days because I had a list and then I had pictures on my phone of books, and I didn't have the list like in detail. It was just kind of titles, so I had to go in and like the most I did into researching without looking at what the books were about was I looked it up to make sure that there was no series. So if it was a series, I wrote down that it was a series, and then I put it all in this like document. And I was sitting there for hours finding all this information, writing down the author, writing down the book series, writing down the title, putting it into this document, and then I was going through, writing all of them down, and like marking off which ones that I wrote down, so I try not to write them again, and I'm sure I probably made a mistake or two. So that was just like me going crazy, and it was fun. It was great. I went insane. And I sat there and I was like, it's so embarrassing that it took me this long to record this. But, I mean, trying to get the kids ready in the morning, get my son to school, take care of my daughter when he's at school, put her down for a nap, get the house together, cook, and do this, it definitely took up a lot of my time.
my book bowl. You can see in it. You guys have seen that I've already started. I don't even think you could see in it. It's very dark in there. It's kept. There's a lot of books in here. And I wish that included the series. There might be some duplicates. I did say I tried not to, but there were so many books I've probably missed. So, okay. Okay. So, the title, I wrote really small, I'm sorry, is it's a series, so that's gonna be great. It's the Morally Gray Billionaire series. So I'm going to look that up and see how many books it is. I'm not gonna look at the summaries just because I want to be surprised. I'm gonna look up how many books there is, because if there's a lot of books, I'm going to pick out another, and I'll kind of break apart the series by putting other books in the middle. So let's see. I think I'm gonna make a Goodreads account specifically for this channel, just so I don't mix it with my personal stuff. Personal stuff has a lot of stuff from when I was a kid too, so I don't know. So it looks like there's 7 books. So I will pick out another The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. So yeah, this is gonna be fun. I am still working on making that book journal, and I think I'll show it to you guys once it's done. To be honest, I started it, did a little bit of it, and then never returned. So that's kind of where we're at.
Editing Maria here. I didn't realize while I was recording this, I never made a outro. I kind of just cut off abruptly. I got distracted with my children towards the end of the clip that I cut out, and I just never went back to it. I didn't realize until now, but essentially I cut out some stuff while pulling out the book titles, just because at first I was pulling out series and I didn't want to pull out another series to add to the series. Thinking back now, that's going to be absolutely impossible. I'm going to have to pull out series just because there's more series to standalones. So I know that for next time, but I was putting those back, and then I grabbed The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden, and I grabbed another book, and that book hasn't been released yet. And I don't know how I didn't notice that. I didn't realize I put books that haven't been released yet. It will be released sometime soon-ish, so hopefully when I grab it again, it won't be an issue. It'll already be out. So I'll let you guys know that now, just so there's no confusion. I'm a little bit all over the place. But yeah, so this is just my outro. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys continue to watch. Like the video, comment if you have any tips, ideas, thoughts, or any books you just want me to add to the book bowl. Subscribe if you want to see more, and hit that notification bell if you want to be informed every time I post a new video. I appreciate all the support, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a nice night, guys.